a fair go. Oh, hello, Mabel. Aren't you glad to see me?
Of course I'm glad to see you, Dave.
Mabel.
Now don't kiss me again in front of all these people.
Oh, I wish I could keep on kissing you.
Cleaning bloody Ray's bike, and I put my finger round the sprocket and cut the top of my finger off. And then Neville destroyed me little bloody toy camel I got for Christmas. And he buried it on me, and I dug it up about 3 weeks later and it was all rotten. Yeah, the mongrel. What else do you want to talk about?
Well, how old were you then?
Oh, I was only about 4 perhaps. But see, in those days we only got a Christmas stocking, a red Christmas stocking with the jelly beans and lollies and a few hard lollies. That's about all we got for Christmas. And a little Santa. Didn't get much more.
Hey, Dan, this door's been put on upside down.
There you are, Dad. I thought you put on the door so well.
Well, anyone's liable to make a mistake. Come on, Dave, give me a hand to shift that door.
Tim and I and Neville were in one room. Evan and Beryl were in another room. That's 5. Mum and Dad. Ray must have been in the back room. Yeah, right at the back. You know that room at the back? I don't know. Oh, I can't remember where the others were. Still, I suppose they're right through the house. Everywhere. There might have been 4 in our bedroom. I think there was. Yeah. 4 boys. And 2 at the back and 2 girls up the... That's right, yeah. 2 girls up the other room.
Don't you think Mabel would like a set of crepe de chine underclothing? I just had a quick look at them when the girl took the lid off the box, and I didn't like to look again, but...
Well, if you want to buy 'em, buy 'em. Say you'll take the box.
Oh, no, I don't like to.
Oh, don't be so goofy.
No, I can't remember getting new clothes. I think probably we got a lot of hand-me-downs from other families, and and they just passed them down the line. Well, I can remember Neville pinching a pair of my shoes when I was 15, so I had to chase him up to Dodds Corner to get my shoes back because I wanted to go out. But often we went to school barefooted, often, you know, but not all the time. We'd dress up for school events and that sort of thing. Didn't go barefooted all the time. Well, most of the kids did, I think, from memory.
But you wouldn't have had a school uniform.
No, he only had the navy pants, I think, or shorts and shirt, and that was it. Yeah. And a jumper. I don't know I don't think we did have a school. Oh no, we couldn't have. You couldn't afford it anyway, I don't think, in those days.
I'm going to kiss you again, Mabel. You can't go in there.
All right, Dave.
I think Tim gave me a bell for my bike once, because he was working and I wasn't. I can't remember. I suppose we got clothing and that wouldn't interest us much.
No.
Oh, he might got a tennis ball or 2 or something like that.
Did you celebrate
And a
your
toy
birthday?
record. Oh yeah, we used to have a birthday cake, and
Yeah.
same as they do now. Always had a bit of a party, hundreds and thousands and all that stuff. Anyway,
Would your party going on every weekend or something?
just about.
Gosh.
Have a few every year. Well, there's 8 or 9 or 10 every year, isn't it?
Crikey.
Yeah, but parties in those days was lemonade
Yeah.
and hundreds and thousands and little cakes, because Mum used to cook like a tiger. She was a good cook. Chicken was a delicacy. We only had chicken and poultry on Christmas Day. Christmas Day and New Year's Day. Yeah, that's all. Oh, Easter we used to have a chook, yeah.
Dogs?
We used to have 3 dogs. Mac, Flossie, was the other little Pomeranian? I can't remember. Beautiful dogs. We used to take them rabbiting and shooting. Oh, we used to go shooting in those days.
Yeah.
We had pea rifle and used to go out with the shotgun with old Jack Telekino shooting quail and rabbits. Yeah, we had a great time. And I used to go out with Jackie Truan on the back of his little old Ford, T model Ford, and pull up and shoot a rabbit from the road. There were that many rabbits about, you could shoot them when you pulled up in the car.
Really?
Hundreds of them, yeah. So we always caught rabbits. Well, Bunny Abbott and I used to go rabbiting, come home with about 20 pair of rabbits. And then we used to sell them, take them round all the neighbours and sell them a pair of rabbits for $2 a pair. Made a fortune. Then we used to sell the skins. Oh yeah. We had trailers on our bikes to take the ferrets and the nets. And then cart the rabbits home hanging down the side, blowflies all around them. There we used to catch 20 or 30 pair at weekend. Great. But you could eat them then and enjoy them. Beautiful.
I want to be on the station early.
Yes, you ought to get a job on the railway station. You spend all your time there.
But Dad, Mabel's coming home.
Cherry bobs. Cherry bobs, football, cricket.
What's cherry bobs?
I used
What,
to.
bobs?
No, yeah, bobs. We used to have to get the pips out of cherries and throw them in a hole in the ground, and you'd get 2 in your old girl back if you got it in the hole, or 3 in your old girl back. It depends who was bartering the most. And we'd save these cherry bobs. Oh, gee, they were like a jewel to us, you know,
Yeah.
just for blinking cherry bob, cherry pip. Or alleys,
Yeah.
you know, the little ring and big ring. Big ring you had to fire from the edge. I think it was about a yard across, and you used to have to get the, what they call the centre alley? Kitty or whatever. Kitty, I think. You'd have to knock the kitty out, and then if you knocked it out, you'd keep it. And they have to put another one in. Or if you stopped in the circle, the bloke running the school kept your alley as well. But little ring, you had to put it, you had to bowl it from, about 5 feet or 6 feet away and get it in the ring. And then knock all the other alleys out of the ring. And what you knocked out of the ring, you kept. Yeah. That's a good game.
And you had tom bowlers.
Yeah, tom bowlers. And the old tip cat, remember the old tip cat? It was a stick of wood pointed at both ends, and you had a stick to hit down on the end and toss her in the air and then hit it. And the further you hit it, you were the winner. The furthest that hit the... Pretty dangerous, because if you went off the side and hit you in the eye somewhere. Wonder they didn't ban the game. It was silly. It was a good game though.
Tip cat.
Yeah, tip cat. Tip cat.
And what were what other games there?
Oh, usual stuff. Footy, cricket.
Yeah.
We used to play inter-school.
Did you have a proper footy
Oh, yeah, of course.
at
Yeah.
home?
No, we couldn't afford a football.
That's
No.
what I meant.
No. We had to play with the school footy.
Yeah, but at home, did you
No,
play
I
footy?
didn't have a footy, no. Oh, we used to kick a tennis ball around or something like that, but never a football. We used to have sports meetings. Ray used to run them. And I think Ev was called Titmole. I was called Percy Prick. Nev was called Ginger Pluck. Tim was called Tiny Tim. And Ray had described the race, you know. Here comes Titmole. She's won by a tit or... And we used to play cricket in the backyard, in the back paddock, and use the stump of a tree for the wicket.
Yeah.
And the old man had bowl us all out because he was a spinner like Warney. And we had no hope of hitting it. Why, gee, you could spin a ball, old Dad. Yeah.
Did the girls play as well?
Not the cricket.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, Beryl used to. Yeah, Beryl used to play cricket. And then, how's that? And we used to invite the Benalla East over
Yeah.
to play us in the schoolyard, in the backyard at our place. He knocked his head off. Yeah. Oh, yeah, they were good old days.
I think I'll hold out until the morning.
Oh, gastritis is pretty serious, Dad, and so's bronchitis and appendicitis and apoplexy. Still, you can't have them all, can you, Dad?
Oh, well, I've got one of them, Dave. I don't know which it is, and they're all pretty bad.
Oh.
It was a big old home. It had about 1, 2, 3, 4 bedrooms, and the whole 8 of us were brought up there. Lovely old residence. It's still there. Lovely little place. A big place, I mean. But they've cut it down now. They've sliced a bit of the end off. The old kitchen's gone. Well, it was nearly falling down anyway when they pulled it down.
But it was in a big block, wasn't it?
Huge block. Yeah, we had a big acre and a half out the back where Dad used to park the horses from the light horse. And we used to ride the horses. There were rabbits at our back door sometimes. We used to go take the ferrets out and rabbit only quarter of a mile from our place. Catch plenty of rabbits, cook them up for dinner. Good old bunnies then. You could eat them then because they weren't poisoned. Beautiful, used to love them. We used to have rabbit every Wednesday and tripe every Monday. Tripe and onions. Mum was a good cook. But in those days we had no... we didn't have electricity when we were youngsters. It was all gas lighting. It had an old gas ring. Remember the old gas rings, the little cast iron gas rings? Used to boil the kettle on that and put the roast on. The stews, and other than that we lit the big 1-fire stove. And sometimes the kitchen was that hot you couldn't get into the bloody joint. Especially on Christmas Day when the old man was cooking a turkey and plum puddings and, oh God, it was hot. But it was the best time of our lives, I suppose.
Oh, this is the nicest Christmas pudding you've ever made, Mum. It's beautiful.
Dave, you say that every year.
Well, it seems to get better each year, Sarah.
Oh, look, I found threepence in mine. That's going into Wally's money box.
He used to always cook on Christmas Day. Used to always do the cooking Christmas Day. And cook sometimes through the week. He'd make some great... He was a WO caterer in the army. And he made brilliant cream puffs, cream horns, sponges. Sponges he cooked had about 6 or 7 eggs in them and used to rise about 5 inches. Oh, glorious. But he used to make a hell of a mess. The whole kitchen table was covered in flour and sugar. And on one Christmas Day he was cooking cauliflower for us, and chucked her all in the pot, and up crawled the snails out the side as it was cooking. He said, they won't hurt you. So he just picked them off and threw them out. And then next day we had stewed figs. He stewed some figs up for us. None of us could eat it. So he went down the toilet, so we all rushed out and tipped our figs out under the lantern bush. Said they were good, Dad. Oh, they were great. So what did he do? He dished us up another helping. Horrible stuff.
Hey, guys, let's have our thing. Here comes Percy.
Well, good morning, boys.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, boys. Now, come on, settle down and we'll make a start straight away.
No. Pa never had a licence. No. They were teaching him to drive once, and we're all following him up on the bikes, and of course he hit my front wheel and ran over my bike. Oh gosh, and he'd never got in a car since. Or he didn't try to drive since. I think he thought he'd run over me, but he didn't. He just buggered my bike up. Well, we're all mocking him. But he didn't try to drive after that, no.
You don't say I seen it, you say I saw it. Now, has that sunk in? You don't say I seen it.
You don't say.
No.
Oh, you don't say.
Yes, I do say.
But you just said you don't say.
I know I did.
Oh, you don't say.
Listen, Bottomley, one of these days I'll break every bone in your body.
Oh, at home? Oh, golly, oh no, he's pretty lenient, unless you played up or fought, and then he'd belt you with a half-inch bamboo stick, or And that soon shut us up.
Yeah.
But he used to get us in front of the fire at night and start a boxing competition. Bare fist in front of, till we're all crying and we'd all have to go to bed then. Yeah. Great.
So what was Nana doing at this time?
Oh, Nan was just sitting there, taking it all in. I suppose she thought it'd toughen us up.
Yeah.
Not that we needed it, I don't think.
Now, before you come to school tomorrow, would you mind very much giving yourself an anaesthetic?
Yes.
Well, if you don't keep quiet, I'll give you one now.
We only had to, we bathed about once a week.
Yeah.
Yeah. And well, when we first started, there was no hot water. You just have to boil the copper up and then cast your hot water from the laundry and tip it through the bathroom window into the bath.
Yeah.
Then we'd probably all use the same bath water. Then we eventually got a wood chip heater for the bath. You used to just have to put chips in and light up the chips and heat the water. Then we got a gas heater, which every time you turned it on it nearly blew up. Oh.
Now break off for recess. Good morning, boys.
Good morning, Swap.
Good morning, boys.
Benalla West State School. Oh, they just had their reunion
Yeah. What,
in October.
yeah. What can you remember about being at Benalla West?
I can remember everything. We used to, we had a Catholic school next door, and we used to rattle on the tin shed and say, "You Catholic dogs sitting on logs eating maggots out of frocks." And they'd rattle back. I forgot what they used to say. Oh no, we had a great time at the West School.
Botany.
What do you want?
I want civility first, my boy. And where did you get hold of this idea?
I think I seen it in the book.
You think you've seen it?
Yeah.
Botany, you saw it in a book. I saw it in a book.
Well, then, I must have.
Must have what?
I must have saw it in a book.
Botany, why must you talk like that?
Well, that's right.
Right? It's not right. It's far from it.
Well, you just said you seen it too.
Wonderful teachers, yeah, a lot. Well, I think they were more, I don't say lenient, they weren't lenient for sure, but they were more very devoted to teaching and made sure you knew all your tables and how to spell and how to write, and reading, writing, arithmetic. That was their main concentration.
Yeah.
But if you misbehaved in school, you got the cuts, of course. 2 or 3 cuts. You were sent up to the headmaster, given the strap, right across the... Well, you couldn't hold your hand out straight after it. It was that severe. But it didn't do us any harm. I think it was a good thing. I think I got belted a couple of times, that's all. I was a good boy. Yeah.
Can you remember the names of any of the teachers?
Of course. I remember them all.
Oh.
Yeah, Maggie Bradshaw and Ginger O'Shea and Tom Doubleday and Percy Moffat and oh yeah, I remember them all. Yeah, good teachers.
John Milton used to write poetry, but he lived in the Middle Ages and got drunk. He what?
He got drunk.
Who told you that?
You did.
I did?
Yeah.
Botany, I did nothing of the sort.
Yes, you did. Didn't he, Stanforth?
I don't know.
Now, well, what's the good of asking Stanforth if he doesn't know anything?
Well, that's what you told us.
Botany, I said nothing of the kind.
Yes, you did. I remember the words you used.
How do you? Well, what did I say?
You said, for the last half of his life he was blind.
How did I? Well, I know that, but I didn't mean he was drunk, you idiot.
Go home for lunch, yeah.
You did?
Yeah. Home for quick lunch. And, well, it was only 3 blocks away from the state school. Oh, yeah, but you had time. You had an hour or so.
Yeah.
And you got home in 5 minutes and back and had a quick snack and went back.
So all like 7 kids had come back for lunch?
Yeah. Well, I don't know that. They're all at state school at one time. Because you got to think Ray's, 10 years older than me, so he would have left school by then.
He was in high school.
Wouldn't be all going... Yeah, he'd have been to high school. But we used to have to ride the bikes to high school, which was over the other side of the river. Turn the gas on upstairs and put a match under and light all the mantles. Well, there was only one.
Which would be in the centre of the roof.
Yeah, yeah, and just the one mantle. But it used to come down and pull it down, used to have to light it, the mantles. Yeah.
Did it give much of a light?
Beautiful soft light, yeah. Good as electricity.
Yeah.
Good light.
In your bedroom?
No, candles in the bedroom. Just candles, yeah.
So how many
I think in the main bedroom Mum had one, and the dining room, lounge room, but none in the bedrooms, no. Oh, we used to have a kerosene lamp.
This is ridiculous. The green bottle. Yeah? You can't go to the university as one of my pupils. Why not? They'd find me out.
Yeah, and I once got in a horse out at Cocky Roach's slaughter yards, old Mac. I got on it and the bloody thing started to gallop like mad and bolt away, so I thought, oh, bugger this. We went under a pine tree and I grabbed the limb of the pine tree and the horse just galloped on. I was shit frightened, I tell you. But that's about the only horse I got on. That was the end. But we used to watch Cocky Roach killing bullocks and lambs and rams, and we used to clean the tripe for him, wash all the shit out of the tripe. We did. Then dump it in salt and clean it all up for his butcher's shop. Yeah.
This is a very sad day for the grand old school of St. Percy.
Yes, sir.
Well, I don't feel that I can do any more at all now.
No, sir.
So, good morning, boys.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, boys. Oh,
No. I was about 14 when I first saw the sea, when McPhee's, he was a Postmaster General in Benalla, and they used to invite me down for holidays. And I got the shock of my life when I first saw the sea. I thought, so much water, my God. I couldn't believe it. But we stayed at Albert Park, Middle Park. Old McPhee had a unit right on the beachfront. I've driven past and showed it, Cramer Court. Yeah. So we used to spend 3 or 4 weeks there and then go back to Benalla. Mr. McPhee used to drive us back. Neville used to come down. We kept the McPhee boys busy, swimming and playing a bit of cricket. And, actually, we used to play cricket on that St Kilda Oval. You know, the little one off, still there, in the gardens at St Kilda. Yeah.
Can you remember Luna Park being there?
Oh, of course, that's been there forever. Yeah, and still much the same. Scenic Railway, Big Dipper. Yeah, we used to go to Luna Park with the McPhees. And it was the first time I went yachting with McPhees on a little, what's a little yacht?
Dinghy.
We went on Albert Park Lake, and old Macca was trying to show us how to sail a sailing ship. Half the time we're going the wrong way. Anyway, we had a great time.
The Air Adventures of Biggles.
Tarzan of the Apes, a character of Edgar Rice Burroughs' famous book.
Oh, it's only the wind in the trees, dear.
It gave me rather a start.
It did me, too, for a moment. Silly as both of us. Nothing short of a herd of elephants to force its way in here. I confess a bit of pride. This place is built like a vault.
CX-4 calling control tower. CX-4 calling control tower. Standing by.
Control tower back to CX-4. Wind southeast, ceiling 1200. All clear.
Okay, this is Hop Harrigan. Coming in.
Oh, we had a wireless. The Dad was one of the first in Benalla to get the wireless. The battery run thing with a big 12-volt battery. Yeah. And the whole school came down to listen to it because it was the first one in Benalla. whole of the West School used to come down and listen to the wireless. Yeah. But then we had an aerial which was 100, it must have been 50 yards long and up and about 20 foot in the air. And they used to run a wire down through the lounge room to get a reception from Melbourne.
God.
Huge thing. And in the finish, I cut the poles up when they became more technical, and I cut all the poles up and made Joni and ours my first bedroom suite out of the poles.
Really?
Had them all sawn up at Carter's and built my own bedroom suite. It was all Oregon, beautiful stuff.
Or what?
Oh yeah, he wanted to listen to cricket.
Ah,
in England, yeah. But you used to get the rebroadcasts.
Yeah.
And so was born the ball-to-ball broadcast, an amazing and intricate operation based on an unceasing flow of brief coded cables describing every ball. A team in the studio decoded the cables, posted the scores, and provided the commentator with a translation. In turn, he tapped a wooden block with a pencil to simulate a hit. The description trailing only a couple of minutes behind the actual play on the other side of the world. Here is Alan McGilvray in action at the commencement of his still unfinished innings as a cricket commentator.
Runs in, ball to Bradman. It's ball well pitched. Bradman moves forward, drives. Cotton at cover tries to cut it off, but is beaten by the pace of the ball, and it races away for another 4.
But,
and the races?
Yeah, in the races. Yeah, that's all Dad wanted it for.
The races?
Yeah.
Geez, he could have.
Yeah.
Well, what about the SP book?
He was a good punter.
He could probably get the results before then.
Yes, unless they had a wireless tucked away somewhere. I don't know. But I don't know how they got on. I suppose they did it all by phone. Yeah. Because you could often, sometimes you were lucky enough to get a bet on half the race. Before they got the news, yeah. They were the robbers.
Yeah.
But the cops used to come round and raid them now and again. Well, Ray did a bit of SP.
Did he?
Yeah, at the butcher's shop. I don't know whether he ever made $1 out of it. Oh, yeah.
Go.
Aye, and hack a mackerel. Then I went to high school. And I wasn't very brilliant, but I nearly got my leaving. Or what do they call it now? GST? Or what do they call it now? VCE? Nearly got it. I left a week before the exams because I was frightened I wouldn't pass. Then I wanted to work with timber, and I went to the timber yard in Benalla.
Yeah.
Carter's timber yard, because I love timber. Must be nearly time for that next race. Oh, yeah. Nana interviewed him because I wanted to leave school, and so Nana went and talked to Les Garson, the headmaster, and said Harold wanted to be a cabinet maker, carpenter. He said, oh, no, said Dal. Garson, he'd be too short, he wouldn't be high enough for the bench. Wouldn't be tall enough. So anyway, I topped the commercial grade in bookkeeping and typing, and not that it's done me much good. Yes, it did, because I finished on and did a little bit of accounting and then joined the SEC.
Oh, will you pipe down a bit, Dave? Pipe down. You're going off your head.
Oh, naturally the boy's excited. You'd better go along with Dad and do some work, Dave. Leave all these things to me, and tomorrow we'll go and meet Mabel.
But, yeah, we knew the Johnsons because his father was the bank manager.
Yeah.
We all went to school together, but we were mates ever since then. Well, what's that, 75 years ago?
Remember we used to go to the church, Catholic church in Benalla there, and we piddled in the font.
Yeah.
And they used to go in and dip their finger in the font and then cross themselves, you know. That sort of thing.
Yeah. What about when you rang the bell at Church of England?
Oh yeah, we got up the steeple and the old what's his name? Virgin. He gets the old rope and he goes to go gong, and I'm up top there hanging onto the gonger, and it didn't work for him.
No wonder they expelled the bugger from school.
Twice a day on Sundays, 11 o'clock Sunday morning and
7 o'clock I used to sing in the choir.
Yeah, we used to sing in the choir. We used to get behind the chair, the pews, and Harold would get, hey ho, and we go, and the old minister used to get shitty with us.
Yeah, did he ever?
Come on now, boys, sing properly.
I couldn't sing for nuts either.
You could play the horn though.
Yeah, but Plinky knows that.
In the band, that's what you used to do.
Yeah, in the band, yeah.
What
No,
sort of-
solo tenor, I used to play solo.
How did it go? Oompa, oompa,
No,
oompa.
mine was a tune. I played the
Oh, bloody tune.
What? I was on the tenor horn, and I've been blowing me horn ever since. We used to get whacked to the eyeballs when I was 15. We'd go away on the mass band parades. Finish half the time in the pub, but I had 2 pots and I'd be full as a fart, and I couldn't blow the trumpet anyway.
We had a tank down below and we put Joan in the bloody tank. And I was rolling it along with Joan in the tank and nearly cut a little finger off.
That was down the bloody main street in front of us. Yeah. Dirt road, yeah. Down from Peter McLean's. And Mrs. Telekino saw it coming down the road. What's going on here? A big old tank about
1200 gallon tank.
diameter.
An old water tank.
Yeah, old water tank, corrugated tank.
Mrs. Teller saw it come down the road.
How old were you then?
Oh, I don't know, 10, 12, 9 or 10 years of age then.
Yeah, that's about all. The first car I saw was the old T model, and it had the vertical windscreen in 2 bits.
Yeah, you could tip it over to get the draft through.
Yeah, get the draft through, and the sides were canvas and celluloid, and there was a little pocket on the right hand side to stick your hand out if you're doing the right hand turn. That was the first motor car I saw.
That was the indicators.
Yeah, and you had to put your arm up to stop. Yeah. Well, if you're doing it right,
somebody to pass you used to go like that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Girl like that. I did so. And I had a bet with him. This is before they were pregnant. I had a bet with him. I said, I guarantee you bet I have a plink, I'll have a baby before you. I did, 10 bob.
10 bob, so you just beat me and that's all.
I did not, I got on the bike.
Yeah.
And I went home.
And I got home and you got on your bike and you rang me and said the bet's off because Edna's not home. I said, but Joan is. And I had the kid before you anyway. So you still owe me 10 bob.
13 days to be precise.
Anyway. We used to go over the street on a Friday night, didn't we? Walk home with the girls and the pram and our push bikes. And then we'd go into the Royal and have a couple of sherbets.
And bring a glass out to us.
Oh, that was in the car days when we first had the car.
Oh yes, when we had the car.
We finished up with about 3 dozen of
glasses.
glasses.
6 o'clock closing, and it was too late. We couldn't take the glasses, empty glasses back in, so we'd go home. And next week, out there again, and have another few more, another half a dozen glasses, and left in the down the hatch again.
We used to hear the old man Ray at the butcher shop across the road, remember? And we could tell where Dad was when we were in the butcher shop because we'd hear him. It was easy, 200 yards away.
Well, you used to do the books for Ray there, didn't you? Yeah, so that was...
Yeah, it was the first car we had.
Yeah.
So, because our estate had been wound up and I got money, which helped us buy a car.
Thank God.
So the 4 of us decided...
It was an old Hudson, wasn't it? An old Hudson...
Yes.
Terraplane.
We'd go...
Was it brand new?
No,
second hand.
Used to have the headlights on top of the mudguards, the big old headlights. And we took a photo of Peter and Tony, didn't we? One the leg each side with the...
Yeah, I've seen the photo.
There's a photo. And...
Watty gave us a couple of batteries. The first night we got out to Warby Springs, didn't we? Stopped the night in case we forgot anything.
All of about 11 miles we went. First night. They weren't... The caravan parks weren't like they are today. They were Warby. We even in those days parked on the side of the road and slept the night on the side of the roads, where there'd be a toilet and a few amenities.
A few amenities. We used to get in the pool a bit, Harold.
That was when you found out I had a wart on me thing. Didn't you?
Joan told me.
Remember when Plinker I had all the nappies.
Oh, yes, we got
that was in Canberra.
Yeah.
Canberra in the Black Mountain, wasn't it?
Yes, and Ken fixed up the
I fixed the
line.
line up and I wound it around one tree and twitched it around and then it wouldn't go around the other, so I had a 3-inch nail in the boot of the car and the hammer. So I drove that in and ding ding and I wound the clothesline around that. And the girls got the nappies, washed them all and hung them out on the line.
And Flink and I went up the pub.
No, we
did.
we just got back in the caravan and Joan said, "Have a look out there." And we looked out and here's all the nappies in the bloody black mud.
Yes, because we're on Black Mountain in Canberra.
So Harold and myself thought, oh well, we'll do the right thing, we'll just go into Canberra, wasn't it, or Goulburn?
No, we went into Goulburn where, what's her face, was at the little...
Judy, no.
At Rockman's.
Yeah.
And she knew the dry cleaners and they put them all through the dry cleaning and dried them and everything.
And we were away for about 2 hours waiting on the nappies and we got back. Well, if Joan and Edna didn't get stuck into us, didn't they?
Yeah, thought we'd been
We
to
thought
the
we'd
hotel.
done the right thing.
Yeah.
They hounded us when we got back.
Oh. We did the right thing. We didn't. We tried to.
So when we got to Sydney, Joan and I felt that they owed us
a favour
for that, for doing that to us. So we're out at Gymea Bay and we hiked the train into the city and we went to Davy Jones and we went somewhere else and we had lunch with a glass of wine. We really thought we were somebody. We had the whole day out. And then we went home and they got into it again because they'd taken you and Tony to the pub, sat you on the bar and spent the afternoon at the pub drinking beer and God knows what the poor little boys had had.
There. Well, you're drinking lemonade, weren't we? Yes, wasn't it? We did the clutch in the car.
Yes, that was on the way home.
And you the chap said he adjusted the clutch for us and he took the car out the road to test it. Yeah. And Harold and myself were standing back there and the 2 girls were in the car.
With the 2 babies.
And he killed a dog.
Yes. And he jammed on the brakes to try and miss the dog. And you and Tony finished up in a ball in the front. Oh, he was a madman.
Yeah, he let it rev,
didn't he?
Oh, did he ever? Oh. Yeah, I think he was just trying it out.
And it cost us, what, £12 or something?
How much money
£9.
we had, and we had 2 and 6pence left.
Yeah, by the time we had enough petrol to get home.
Luckily we bought a roast to have when we got home. We had to have that together and share it when we got back to Benalla on the Sunday.
We had to push up a hill.
Yeah, up Military Road.
Yeah.
Military Road,
yes.
out of Sydney.
You got the clutch started to slip, and it started to boil, and we lifted the bonnet, and Harold jumped out and he put a rock behind the wheel.
What about the caravan?
Yeah, the caravan was still in the back of the car.
And we all had to get out and walk because we couldn't, and push.
So we let it cool down for a while, and then I said, well, I'll get up the top and unhook the caravan and come back pick you up.
Yeah, that's right.
And I took off and I thought, geez, up around this bend and around
still
another
climbing.
bend and around another bend. And you had the 2 kids.
Yeah, and Joan was pregnant with Chrissy.
So I got up to the top and did I come back and pick you up? No, I didn't.
No, we had to walk the whole
way. I got
way.
told off again.
You know, a bottle of beer and a bottle of lemonade.
Oh, now to go, we used to get a gallon, didn't we?
We used to get a gallon of Blanc.
Yeah. Oh, not every time.
Used to pump it up with a bike pump. And they had 2 little...
That was beer,
rubber cork, rubber cork and 2 glass tubes. And pump one in, and then you used to press the button like on the side there, and the beer used to come out and pour your glass of beer.
Beautiful. Draft beer.
Yeah, draft beer.
Because you couldn't get bottled beer. It was still rationed in those days.
Oh,
you know, 49, 50.
So you'd buy it in a gallon?
Yeah, gallon jar.
Take your big gallon keg over and
they
used to fill it up. Yeah. Then pump her up with the bike pump to pressure it out into glass. Beautiful beer.
Will you buy that 3-piece set of underclothing for me to give Mabel? I'm not game to buy it myself.
Neither am I, Dave. And if you want that set, me boy, you can buy it yourself.
And Dad lived in Benalla all his life after that. Oh, prior to joining the army, he was on a farm with his father and his grandfather at Kyneton near Macedon. No, it wasn't, it was Green Hill. And then he joined the army at 14, I think, and then went to Gallipoli. Africa and then Gallipoli, yeah. See, Dad jumped out of a parachute. I think he must have been 55 when he jumped, just at Orange, a camp outside in New South Wales. Yeah. And then he was in the AIC. I think he was. Remember Jackie Truan from Benalla? Jackie Truan was in with him for a while. So Dad said, "I'll make a soldier out of you, Truey, yet." So he got him out of his unit and took him into Dad's unit, where he got his initial training. And old Neg, he went to Benalla about the same time, and they were mates ever since. Yeah, and that's how I met Joan, eh?
Yeah, explain where he was.
How I met Mum. Well, Pa Neg was, he was at the Boer War, which I got his medals, and Dan's got them. And then he went to India with the British Army, and then he came out to Australia after the 14-18 war. But he was a champion horseman, old Nick. I got a photograph of him there jumping the mess table on horseback while all sitting down having a meal. Have you seen it? Yeah. Oh no, they were in the 8th Light Horse in Benalla. I don't think they were in camp together. But then, what happened to old Nick then? I don't know what Carnegie did during the war. He must have been training. He was in the AIC, Australian Instructional Corps, same as Dad.
Every time I'm with you, I don't mind that poker and green. If I stand ace high with a beautiful queen, I'll say I'm lucky in love. If you take me, that'll make me oh so lucky in love.
Yes, I think Nan was born in Corfu. And then they came out to... well, they were on the way out to Australia. I think he worked in Corfu for a while, old O'Callaghan, and then they came to Australia.
Worked as what?
As a gardener, garden designer. And then he came to Sydney. And then he came to Melbourne for a short while, and he designed a lot of gardens in Mount Macedon. You know, in the big homes in Mount Macedon, he designed a lot of the gardens up there. Of course, the Coggers were up there. Well, Mum was there with... that's where Dad met my mum, at Mount Macedon, because she was stopping with Auntie Annie. And I suppose... Nana and Pa O'Callaghan, I suppose they were there, because that's how Dad met up with Mum. and he was designing gardens then. And what I can remember, I did hear that he helped design part of the botanical gardens here in Melbourne. Mum's dad, my mum's dad. Yeah. He showed me how to make a letterbox. First letterbox we ever had at Warringah. And I made the letterbox. Well, he under his supervision. Then we made the stool. That was made in Benalla. Old Steve helped me make that, or I helped him. So it took a lot of memories, that old stool. So that must be 100 and... Yeah. Oh no, must be 70 years old anyway. Charlie Cogger, yes, I can just remember him. Well, he lived at Macedon, and they ran the taxi, or horse-drawn then it was, coach, from Lower Macedon to Upper Macedon. And then they got into, eventually, they had Humbers. Remember the big old black Humbers, Super 8s? They used to taxi them from, as soon as they got off at Lower Macedon, where the rail finished, and drive them up the mount to Mount Macedon. That's where the Coggers all started, or Dad's side. They lived there, and they were gravel carters, road makers. They did everything in Macedon. But their main business was the taxi from Lower Macedon. Of course, there were a lot of wealthy people in Mount Macedon then. Very wealthy. All the Aspro people and all the big cooperative boys lived up there. And that's where O'Culligan made a few bob designing their gardens.
Can you remember Pa's mother?
Pa's mum? Yeah, I did meet her, but not... I think it was only for half a day when we stopped at Auntie Annie's. She lived in Macedon, but yeah, I did meet her. We used to go and see her in hospital, yeah.
Yeah, what was she like?
Lovely old lady. Yes. We used to go skiing every weekend up to Mount Buffalo, and we just lobbed back from skiing at Buffalo and lobbed at Miller's Corner, and somebody said, "We've declared war on Germany." I said, "Oh, God." So within 3 weeks I joined up. Tim was already in, Ray was in, Dad was in, Neville joined up at the same time, and we all sort of split up. None of us got in the same unit, funny thing. Oh, 105 Tank Attack, yeah. We were originally trying to go to the Middle East, but when the war broke out in the Pacific, of course, we didn't get there. And 5 of us were at the war, including Dad. Oh, it was 6 with Dad, was it? No, 5. Ray, Tim. Well, Nan just accepted it all as the war, and okay, my sons are going. So, well, being an army wife, I suppose she just accepted it, naturally. No, 18. You weren't allowed in till you were 18. So, well, you could have put your age back, I suppose, which Neville did. But Mum reported him, so they pulled him out. He joined at 17, the Air Force. Lucky he did, because his whole squadron was wiped out in the Battle of Britain. So just as well he got out, or just as well Mum rode. Yeah, the whole squadron went. But...
well, Ray was in the army already then, wasn't he?
Yes, Ray was in the Armoured Division.
Where did it...
8th Armoured, he finished up in New Guinea. But then they couldn't... well, they couldn't... He was in the Armoured Division driving tanks, he was a captain, and but they found tanks sunk in the mud in New Guinea, so they turned him over to heavy artillery. But I don't know how long Ray had in New Guinea. He had to come home because his wife died, Phyllis, remember? Yeah. And then he went back into the army. I don't know what year Ray got out. I suppose he got out in 45. Yeah.
So Neville was in the Air Force. He initially went in the Air Force.
Yeah. Then he went into the Signals. I forget what regiment, but he was up through Borneo, Tarakan, Port Moresby, not Akron Way. What was the other one? But anyway, he had a pretty severe war, Nev, and he got out all right. He was in with Sammy Chivers, in the same Signal.
And what about Uncle Tim?
Well, Tim was taken POW as soon as Singapore fell, so then he was in Changi for 6 months. Then they shipped him off to Osaka in Japan, where he worked in a factory, in a wood factory, making arms, I think. Then he came back, was skinny as a rake, skinny as that tripod. But he soon got over it, and he married and had about 6 kids. How many did he have?
Yeah, was he...
so he couldn't have been...
Well, he was released at the end of the war.
Yeah. He went right at the end of the war in Japan.
Yeah.
But he started in Changi.
Can you remember finding out... Did you know he was in Osaka?
No. Yes, he did write. Tell us he's in Osaka working in the factory, and told us about how the Japs, instead of planing forward, they used to hold their plane and pull it backwards instead of forwards. Yeah, I don't know what he did, what woodwork he did. I suppose he's making moulds for gun barrels and all that sort of thing. Don't know. But there's a photograph of Tim when he first arrived back from Osaka.
And can you remember when you found out that he'd been taken prisoner at Changi?
Yeah, he was taken in 1941. So I decided to join up and track him down in Singapore, because we never got to Singapore because it fell. But I was going to meet up with him in Singapore, I thought I could. But that's why we joined Tank Attack. But we didn't get there, of course, because it came right down the Pacific then, and we had to go to New Guinea. But so I never ever caught up with him.
Well, he was in prison anyway.
Yeah. Well, you couldn't get in. It was all Japanese control. Yeah. So, but we thought we'd go up through New Guinea into Singapore. You know, go up through the islands, but it never got that far. The Yanks did it for us. So we were just left to defend New Guinea and protect all the airports, all the airstrips. His luck.
Nana must have been sick.
I don't know how she got through it, Pete, because she had 5 of us away all at once. Must have been a worrying time for her. And half the time she didn't know where we were. Oh, well, we used to write and tell her, but must have been a hell of a time for them. Oh, and Dad, I suppose. Although being a soldier, it wouldn't worry him so much. It must have been horrible for Mum. Well, I put in to join the 8th, but of course I couldn't. 8th Division, but they wouldn't, well, I couldn't because it had fallen. I couldn't join up with Tim. Couldn't get up to see him. I was going to save him. Anyway.
Well, how old was he then?
Oh, Tim had only been 19. Took 19, 20 I suppose. By the time he got out, he joined up immediately the war started. He was only 18 then. And, he spent a few months in Puckapunyal and went to Singapore. Yeah. That was his army life. Yeah.
And what about John?
John was too young, yeah. Mm. John was running for human rights at Euroa when war broke out. But then he went to Hamilton, round Melbourne, then to Hamilton.
Yeah.
I went into hospital. Oh, well, they wouldn't let me out because I was too crook, because I had this infection in my face and throat, so they put me in hospital, repat for, I think I was there a month and a half. Then I went back and had another operation. So I didn't get out of the army till 46, which means I had 5.5 years in the army. Then I got out. Yeah, we were in New Guinea, and but then after I got out, I re-met Mum, Jodie, and we decided to get married in 1947. Didn't take long. I met Mum when I was 3 years old, when we were in Benalla. We used to play hidey in pairs. And when I was 5 years old, they first lived in Arundel Street. Yeah, and then they moved to Egmont Street. Oh yeah, we used to see each other about every weekend. She used to come down to Coggers and I'd go up to Carnegie's.
Why, where did they live?
Just 2 blocks from us.
Your mum went to the convent up there, didn't
Yes, she went to the convent next door to us, next door to the state school. Then I re-met her after the war, and we got married.
What do you mean? Re-met her after?
Oh, well, we used to go down to Carnegie's for holidays, but we were just mates. But after the war, I re-met Mum.
You used to go down to Carnegie's where?
In New Street, in Hampton. Then down the old beaches, all around Brighton beaches, swimming, a little bit of canoodling. Then I promised to meet her after the war. Must be nearly time for that next race.